If you feel in any way stuck in your life right now, this is your call. This is your call to do a little excavation, to do a little self-reflection, to spend a little time with yourself, with your mind and your heart and your body, and to check in so that you can become awake and become more conscious about what is occupying you. What's renting space in your consciousness?
This is Heal Your Part, and I'm Jennifer Herrera. I'm on a mission to help you heal what's in the way so you can see yourself the way your soul does. Because when you heal your part, everything shifts.
Hi there, this is Jennifer, your host of the Heal Your Part podcast. I am learning how to do these spur of the moment recordings because as I tend to have a level of overproduction and high standard, caring about the aesthetics. I'm a Gen Xer and a Virgo, so I know all of you who relate to that know exactly what I'm talking about. And perhaps it's just a little bit of my own artistry. Let me claim that. I can overthink. I can overplan. And what I'm really aware of is that the things that come to me on a walk or when I'm listening to something or I'm hearing somebody else share something that speaks life into me, that's when my mind just goes tick, 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 and it just gets so excited. And I recently launched my 4th episode with my mentor and dear friend, Kirk Souder. And today, as I was driving home, I was listening to our conversation. And there are so many pearls, as I said in the introduction, that I feel like time with him always, at least how I experience it, is like a mini masterclass. And one of the things I heard him share that is part of the work that he does, that I feel like practitioners, people that are mentoring, coaching, teaching, people that have as part of their life's work, speaking into, supporting, assisting, lifting up, using their voice as part of their work, there is this opportunity. And what I heard him say, and I'm going to use my words, but I think they're pretty close, and that is liberating people from their ideas, their antiquated ideas of reality. What he was talking about in that moment is a concept that we both learned, I believe, through our master's level studies in spiritual psychology. We attended the same university at different times. And I don't think this is a brand new thought because I've heard it shared in different ways. So I do think it's more out there than it's ever been. And that is to consider that when something is happening in your life that you feel is out of your control, that you feel is rocking you, your foundation, it's pushing on your buttons, it's pushing on your sense of safety, it's pushing on you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Oftentimes that could be physical because we can create a physical reaction in response to how we experience and feel things. That something is happening to us is how we've been referring to it for as long as I can remember. It's happening to me. What's part of the energetic that comes through that thought is implied victimization. It's essentially saying, I am a victim of this situation, of this whatever it is, fill in the blank. And sometimes people are victims to terrible things. That's not what I'm talking about. But there's a piece of that can be included here. But I'm talking about just this universal perception that we have been taught by osmosis and probably through words of hearing it. When somebody is feeling like something's happening that feels out of your control. And what Kirk was referencing that then moved into this thought that I shared about liberating people from antiquated ideas of reality is that if we were to consider this is happening for me or this is happening through me. I've heard it shared in a couple different ways, and both of those resonate for me. Kirk was also sharing about his own life experience. When he was 18 years old, he was given a terminal cancer diagnosis. And obviously he's still alive. And it changed his choices because he thought he only had 18 to 36 months to live. So for him, when you hear his testimony, and he has others, people that he works with, but he was sharing his own, that when we choose to decide instead, and that doesn't mean bypass your feelings, I'm not going there. I'm just saying that we don't land and stay rooted in the victimization that it's happening to me. We move towards if I were to consider this as happening for me, then what? But what really prompted me to get on was to dig into this for a moment, for a little riff here on liberating ourselves from antiquated ideas of reality. And what that strikes in me is the opportunity to almost list out all the ideas, all the beliefs I might be holding as truths, and ask myself, is this true? Is it still true? Was it ever true? Do I want to update this? I mean, what a powerful, powerful opportunity. If you feel in any way stuck in your life right now, this is your call. This is your call to do a little excavation, to do a little self-reflection, to spend a little time with yourself, with your mind and your heart and your body, and to check in so that you can become awake and become more conscious about what is occupying you. What's renting space in your consciousness, in your precious mind? What have you subscribed to, perhaps long ago, or maybe even recently, that would benefit from some analysis or some just questioning, some inquiry? It doesn't have to be 8 layers deep. But when I heard him say, essentially, liberating ourselves from antiquated ideas of reality, I felt myself take a big, deep breath, because I know that pretty much everything I struggle with, everything I experience myself struggling with, can be connected back to some perceived idea of reality that, by the way, that perception that I'm allowing to hold and recycle and perhaps ruminate in is never for me. I can just keep swimming and multiplying the idea and its resonance. But if we interrupt that, if we decide, actually, let me just unplug from that. Let me just pause. Let me just ask some questions. Let me just check myself. Let me audit. That was the word I was looking for before. Let me audit and ask, is that true? How do I know that that's actually true? And I mean, ultimately, at the highest level, I think it's super important that our thoughts are supporting us. Otherwise, why will you let them take up time and space in your body and your mind? Why would you allow negative ideas and thoughts that are harming you to consciously park themselves in your person? that's just harming ourselves unnecessarily. So you might think, oh, that sounds nice. But here's the thing. It is that simple. This idea that all these things are so hard, that's another thought that's locking ourselves into it. And all of it, let me just remind you that when you came onto this planet, when you came as this precious being, full of just nothing but possibility, you weren't holding all this stuff. You were fresh and pure and just love all day long. So we accumulate these ideas. We learn them. They're part of how we choose to relate in this world until we start creating some new ways of relating. They're how sometimes we can commiserate and create community. They're how we protect ourselves from not actually having to really step in, because it's scary to walk into the unknown sometimes. We've also been conditioned to fear failure or making mistakes, when how else do we actually really learn? So I wanted to pause and just jump on and create this impromptu shorty episode to hopefully speak into you in the way that it's spoken to me, and to remind you, like I was reminded, that we can liberate ourselves from antiquated ideas of reality. Because let's face it, there's a lot of stuff happening. It's 2025. There are a lot of things happening in the world right now, and in our country, in the United States of America, that I think, surpass any ideas of anything that most of us thought we would ever be faced with, witnessing, feeling attacked by, fill in the blank. So that to me is another marker that anything is possible. So if anything is possible, and we have evidence of it, if you still have a hard time plugging yourself into this idea, take a look at that. Take a look around and recognize that you are likely holding ideas of reality that, by the way, are directly impacting your life, your experience of your life, your experience of yourself, of what's possible for you, of what you're capable of what you are allowed to want and desire and to pursue. It's likely that a lot of your ideas around perceived reality are blocking that before anything else. But essentially, it's blocking you from your own loving nature, which then blocks you from the loving exchange that's happening, that's available in the world. So I just invite you to consider, what antiquated ideas of reality are in your periphery, are taking up space in that precious, beautiful mind, heart, and soul of yours, are directing your thoughts, perhaps, your choices, perhaps, are directing your beliefs in what's possible for you. What antiquated ideas are blocking you from loving? What antiquated ideas are blocking you from moving into the highest expression of your life, of your soul, of why you came here? Please, I implore you, do the inventory. Do the audit. Ask yourself. Take some time. Take 5 minutes, or please take some time, but don't miss this opportunity, because if you're listening to this, this is for you. This is for you, my friend. And I'm honored that I just happened to cross paths with you right now. I will put together a tip sheet. That's what I'm calling the integration practice for when I do these shorty episodes and there's something that I'm attempting to transmit to you. So I will create a sheet that you can download. If that supports you, you'll know in the show notes how to get to that. And if you're like driving right now, or you're on a hike or a walk, or you're just somewhere where you're not going to go check out these show notes right now, this is the question that you can just sit with and just set an intention to open your heart, your mind, and your body, and trust. You don't have to go digging. You don't have to really analyze yourself. You just have to open yourself up. You have to have a willingness and just ask yourself, what beliefs, what antiquated ideas of reality are in my way? What antiquated ideas of reality am I allowing in my life? What antiquated ideas am I holding that I'm ready to update? I'm honored that you're here with me. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. I love you. And I'm just sending you so much love. Stay with me here. Please subscribe. Share this podcast. If you know somebody that could benefit from this, just send it to them right now. All right. Ciao.